That chip, ceramic matchbox, rest right beside my glass. Condensation drips in slow motion while hours pass. The blue light from my screen keeps flashing off and on, but I flip it face down until the week is gone. Sub bass hums low inside my chest, finally letting all my worries rest. No deadlines calling out my name today. I watch the dust motes drift and melt away. The city keeps running its frantic race while I stay frozen in my own soft space. I am sinking deep into the cushioned velvet grooves, listening into the steady rhythm as the bassline moves. Saturday holds me like an unearned quiet grace. No need to hurry, no need to win this place. Just slow lights, slow breath, falling out of time. Every single second of this weekend is mine. A lukewarm cup of tea stay sitting on the tray. I haven't checked the clock once since yesterday. Outside the window, taxis honking neon glares. Inside my sanctuary, nobody has to care. Soft synth chords rolling through the quiet air, unwinding every heavy thread I used to wear. I am sinking deep into the cushioned velvet grooves, listening into the steady rhythm as the bassline moves. Saturday holds me like an unearned quiet grace. No need to hurry, no need to win this place. Just slow lights, slow breath, falling out of time. Every single second of this weekend is mine. Let the world keep spinning on its heavy axis line. I lock the front door, turned off every sign. My inner monologue is quiet, calm and clear. There is no urgency lingering near. Ceramic matchbox, staying right where it belongs. Just me, the four walls, and these ambient songs sinking into Saturday, floating away, completely still. A skateboard clicks against the curb below. The city breathes a rhythm soft and slow. You've been staring at the glowing screen all week, chasing deadlines that you didn't need to keep. Kick your sneakers by the heavy wooden door. Let the bassline settle deep into the floor. And
forget the inbox filling up with noise. We got the evening and a simple choice. Pour a glass and let the ice hit the glass. We'll let the heavy hours quietly pass. We can kick back, the world on pause tonight, underneath this low orange hallway light. Deep house spinning on a 45. Just a couple friends feeling so alive. No place to run, no calls to answer now. We'll smooth the worries off your tired brow.
Outside, a taxi hums a lazy tune, drifting underneath the half-lit moon. You take a breath and finally drop your hands, tossing out your carefully constructed plans. The bass rolls in, a dark and velvet wave, giving back the hours that the weekday took and gave.
Forget the inbox filling up with noise. We got the evening and a simple choice. Pour a glass and let the ice hit the glass. We'll let the heavy hours quietly pass. We can kick back, put the world on pause tonight, underneath this low orange hallway light. Deep house spinning on a 45. Just a couple friends feeling so alive. No place to run, no calls to answer now. We'll smooth the worries off your tired brow. Monday, can't wait in the lobby down below. We're turning down the lights, we're taking it real slow. Trap, soul drums knocking quiet in the dark, leaving all our troubles floating in the park. Just let it slide, let the record spin around. Listen to the quiet inside the sound. We got all weekend to just unwind.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Toasted chicory drips past the linen curtains, filling the kitchen with a heavy syrup haze. She lets the espresso machine run slow and steady, tracing the steam through the quiet Saturday space. Her phone faces down on the granite counter, blue light muted for 48 hours straight. No calendar alarms to dictate movement, no urgent deadline sitting on her plate. The four on the floor, beat pulses down the hallway, sub bass humming through the polished floor. She takes a step back in the oversized sweater, locking out the world behind the heavy front door. She is sinking deep inside, unassigned hours, watching light slide down the bedroom wall. No rush to answer, no place she needs to go. She lets the afternoon gently fall. When the bassline carries all the heavy pressure, she dances by herself in the hallway gloom. Nothing on the schedule, nothing to fix, just peace filling up every corner of the room. He comes through the kitchen with the fresh loaf of sourdough, setting down butter with a sleepy little grin. They don't say much because the mood is already settled, breathing in the quiet where the daylight's getting thin. A turntable hums with the warm vinyl crackle, snare hits clicking like a slow trap drum. They swap out the city for a private kingdom, waiting for the evening shadows to come. The four on the floor, beat pulses down the hallway, sub bass humming through the polished floor. She takes a step back in the oversized sweater, locking out the world behind the heavy front door. She is sinking deep inside, unassigned hours, watching light slide down the bedroom wall. No rush to answer, no place she needs to go. She lets the afternoon gently fall. When the bassline carries all the heavy pressure, she dances by herself in the hallway gloom. Nothing on the schedule, nothing to fix, just peace filling up every corner of the room. 5 o'clock arrives without a single warning. Ember street light glimmers on the rug. They lean back, sloping to the oversized cushions, wrapped in the comfort of a quiet warm hug. The rhythm stays steady, warm as a pulse, trapped in the bubble where time stays still. Letting Sunday wait out beyond the glass, riding this groove at their own free will. Chicory steam and a record spinning low. Unassigned hours. The city keeps running, but they stay still. We can linger in the quiet dark.
Silence holds the apartment until a sudden realization arrives. There is nowhere to be and no deadline hanging in the air. Filtered coffee drips dark and slow into the picture. The bass synth pulses quietly against the exposed brick wall. Dust motes float in slow rotation through the white light. I shift my posture on the velvet cushion without any rush. The deep house kick loop starts as 4-bar groove. So bass rolls low under muted electric crystal glass. The clock on the stove ticks, but nobody reads the digits. We stay suspended in the middle of a Saturday frame. Yeah, no phone calls ringing, no alarms to break the spell. Smooth R&B melodies drifting through the hallway haze. Let the heavy tempo steady every heartbeat down. Cinematic silence turning into warm ambient sound. Shadows slide 2 inches across the polished wood floor. A vinyl sleeve leans tilted on the low coffee table. You rest your head back, watching the ceiling fan turn lazily. Outside, city traffic glides like a distant muted blur inside. The trap so snare hits clean and deliberate. We trade no heavy words, just comfortable breathing. The deep house kick loop starts as 4-bar grooves. The bass rolls low under muted electric crystal glass. The clock on the stove ticks, but nobody reads the digits. We stay suspended in the middle of a Saturday frame. No phone calls ringing, no alarms to break the spell. Smooth R&B melodies drifting through the hallway haze. Let the heavy tempo steady every heartbeat down. Cinematic silence turning into warm dashboard by the entryway. Just a steady pulse of bass and the luxury of unhurried time. The hi-hat fades down to a soft feather touch. Cold brew dissolves into cloudy cream. Swirl still sitting right here in the quiet glow. Nothing left to catch up on, just the room and the low frequency holding us.
Why does the bassline sound like someone asking a favor? The subwoofer hums low, vibrating through my socks. My coffee turned lukewarm 20 minutes ago. I am looking at a crack in the plaster that looks a little like Italy. Phone screen flips face down on the sofa cushion. Dust motes swimming in the blue light from the window shades. Nobody is expecting an email right now. Nobody is checking if I am alive or awake. 4-beat pulse keeps kicking in the corner of the room. I let my shoulders drop an inch lower than usual. Thoughts flow sideways like smoke from a dying candle. No place to be, no clock ticking down. Sinking through the cushions while the synth pad swells. Time stretches long when the calendar is empty. Trap snare clicking soft and steady underneath. We bounce slowly, mind floating off the grid. This Saturday afternoon has no destination at all. Just deep bass filtering through the floorboards. Was that a bird or just a bird sample in the track? Doesn't matter, my legs are too heavy to care. I count the velvet ridges on the throat pillow. Reaching for my glass, ice melted into a tiny circle. Thoughts loop around a random memory from 3 years ago. Then vanish into the warm reverb. Nothing urgent, nothing sharp around the edges. Sinking through the cushions while the synth pad swells. Time stretches long when the calendar is empty. Traps they're clicking soft and steady underneath. We bounce slowly, mind floating off the grid. This Saturday afternoon has no destination at all. Just deep bass filtering through the floorboards. That left, right channel balance drifting in my ears. A low pass filter takes the top off the world outside. Car horns muffled 3 stories down on the street. I am completely lost inside. 80 beats per minute. No calls to return. No boxes left to check. The kick drum fades out. Gradually, Italian shaped plastic crack is still there on the wall. 80 beats per minute, becoming 60. Drown out the noise. Just let the weekend sit right here.
The heavy leather recliner holds gravity down to the carpet, pressing every seam. I am typing out a note to who you used to be, running on cold espresso and a frantic dream. You held your breath for 5 whole years straight, waiting for the moment when the floor would break. You thought the ground would bury you alive, counting every second just to survive. But look at where I am sitting right now. The urgency finally learned about. Dear younger me, untie your worn out shoes. We made it to a Saturday with nothing to lose. Let the sub bass roll through the living room floor. You do not have to fight for your life anymore. Take the afternoon off. Let the silence stay. We are safe inside the calm of today.
Remember missing Sunday dinners for a deadline, panicking at midnight over imaginary lines. Now the armchair catches every ounce of stress, trading all that ambition for a little less. The 4x4 kick drum beats real slow.
There is nowhere that we have to go. Throw away the panic, close the open screen. Step inside the peacefulness you never thought you'd see. The weight below my spine says the battle is done. We do not need to race against anyone. Sink into the cushion. Let your shoulders drop. The clock keeps ticking. Let the worries stop. We survive the hustle. Rest now. Rest now.
Honey rays paint every quiet tile. Inside the diner near the corner block. I watch the dust most drift a little while. Not even caring that I turned off my clock. You sit 2 stools down stirring iced green tea. Looking just as lost in Saturday as me. You turn your head and say, is this seat taken? I shake my head, sliding my jacket over. No rush today, no morning bells awaken. Just 2 lost souls hiding in midday clover. We let the tempo drop down to 45. Talking about nothing while the city runs by. You say you like the way the weekends feel alive, when nobody asks you to explain the why. Baseline thumb slow, beneath the wooden floor. We leave our heavy schedules outside the door. I was supposed to clean my place, you laugh, resting your elbows on the polished chrome. I say I spent 3 hours on a photograph and left my phone charging alone at home. We trade stories of the places we survive. Grateful for the hour that we both arrive. You take a sip and say time moves so slow. I smile back watching shadows stretch out long. No deadlines calling where we have to go. Just strangers company like an easy song. We let the tempo drop down to 45. Talking about nothing while the city runs by. You say you like the way the weekends feel alive, when nobody asks you to explain the why. Baseline thumb slow, beneath the wooden floor. We leave our heavy schedules outside the door. Deep house rhythm picking on the speaker wire. Sub bass sliding warm through the air. Neither one of us is trying to set fires, just breathing in the stillness that we share. Amber fades to indigo outside. Nice meeting you, you say, and walk away. Nothing to chase, nowhere left to hide. Just a sweet stranger on a Saturday. You said yesterday that time moves sideways if you let it. A half-drained seltzer bottle sits beside the unread mail. The radiator clicks 3 times, then drops its volume low. A black phone screen lights up once, then returns to dark. The shadow of the potted fern stretches across the parquet floor.
Low frequency hums beneath the floorboards now. No calls to answer and no place we need to run. The afternoon softens every sharp line in the room. We let the rhythm settle deep into our skin.
We watch the
apartment collect the quiet.
Small details
floating through the warm room air.
No schedule printed for this afternoon.
Just steam rising steady from a heavy mug.
We let the clock
forget its purpose here.
A crumpled paper receipt rests deep inside my jacket. Two dry lemon slices sitting on the cutting board. Down in the alley, a bicycle rolls without a sound. Your denim coat hangs crooked on the hallway rack. A single water drop clings to the faucet rim and shines.
Low frequency hums beneath the floorboards now. No calls to answer and no place we need to run. The afternoon softens every sharp line in the room. We let the rhythm settle deep into our skin. We watch the apartment collect the quiet small details floating through the warm room air.
No schedule printed for this afternoon.
Just steam rising steady from a heavy mug. We let the clock forget its purpose here.
No reason to push
The tempo any faster.
No need to fill the space
Between our thoughts
The sub bass holds the house
in gentle suspension.
while the ceiling fan rotates in a lazy arc.
Sideways time, just like you mentioned.
Fern shadows,
Leaning on the wall, steam rising from the heavy mud.
no alarms left for today. Heavy waffle knit cotton brushes my shoulder, softened by 100 Sunday cycles in the wash. I pull the sleeve down over my wrist, and instantly the temperature drops to October. Your oversized sweater lingering on the couch, the faint smell of cedar and rain on the knit. No alarm ringing today, no rush for the subway, just low frequency bass beating slow through the floorboards. I sit
On the edge of the unmade mattress, watching the dust most drift in halftime. The rhythm takes me back without warning, rewinding the tape to a room where you sat beside me.
We had no plans, no place we needed to run to.
Drowning the clock in a deep house groove.
Trapped in the soul of a Saturday afternoon.
Holding on to moments we didn't know we'd lose.
The weave of the fabric
Still keeps your ghost warm, while the sub-bass rolls like a gentle storm.
I traced the freight him where your fingers used to pull,
Like morning coffee cooling on a nightstand glass.
you were reading something loud with your eyes half shut, laughing at the way the sunlight hit the rug.
Now it's just me and this effortless tempo, sinking into cushions while the beat drips slow.
We had no plans,
No place we needed to run to. Drowning the clock in a deep house groove.
trapped in the soul of a Saturday afternoon.
Holding on to moments we didn't know we'd lose. The weave of the fabric still keeps your ghost warm, while the sub-bass rolls like a gentle storm.
Memory flashes like a blue LED light, pulsing on the speaker in the corner of the room. I can still feel your thumb pressing into my palm, right when the synth line broke the silence open.
We didn't care about tomorrow's schedule. We were rich in hours that belonged to nobody else. Faded cotton on my skin, deep bass kicking low and then. No rush, no rain, no place to go. Just 3 years back in the quiet glow. Smooth trap soul on an endless loop, letting the memory rest in the room. Glows against the dusty glass, a silent digital clock that never blinks. I'm looking through the years that passed to a quiet kitchen where the ice cube clings. We don't have to check the email feed, no notifications breaking up our sleep. Just a future version of the life we need, and a promise that we finally get to keep. The sub-bass rolls through the living room floor, a steady rhythm floating light and slow. We lock the worry right outside the door, picture how the sunlight's gonna glow. When we went back the calendar, darling, every Saturday we'll stretch out miles wide. No alarms, no endless heavy starting, just you and me floating on the tide. We'll spin the record down to 90 BPM, forget the hustle that we used to borrow, living in the now instead the linen curtains sweeping low, a coffee brewing on a future counter space. No rushing out into the winter snow, just lazy shadows shifting on your face. You wear that oversized faded tee, I'll pour 2 glasses filled with sparkling lime. Finally reaching what we couldn't see, a bank account that's overflowing time. The sub bass rolls through the living room floor, steady rhythm floating light and slow. We lock the worry right outside the door, picture how the sunlight's gonna glow. When we win back the calendar, darling, every Saturday we'll stretch out miles wide. No alarms, no endless heavy starting, just you and me floating on the tide. We'll spin the record down to 90 BPM, forget the hustle that we used to borrow, living in the now instead of then, with nothing scheduled for tomorrow. Right now the screen is flashing red with tasks. The midnight shift is calling out my name, but I close my eyes and take off the mask, visualizing how we exit from the game. In 5 more years, or maybe 6 or 7, we will own our hours, top to bottom clear. A simple Sunday that feels like heaven, and every single worry disappears. And we went back the calendar, darling, every Saturday we stretch out miles wide. No alarms, no endless heavy starting, just you and me floating on the tide. We'll spin the record down to 90 BPM, forget the hustle that we used to borrow, living in the now instead of then, with nothing scheduled for tomorrow. 12:30 glows on that future wall, nothing to do, nowhere to run it all, just the bassline drifting in the air. A quiet afternoon without a care. We want it back. We want it back.
A single brass dice is frozen on the cork. I stare at the 4 dice facing up. No impulse to roll it again, no urgency driving my hands. The sub bass pulses soft through the hardwood, I muted 88 BPM. My phone stays face down near the coaster, battery dying without my care.
Notifications pile up behind the glass screen, everyone wants a piece of my afternoon. I let the digital noise float away like dust, breathing in the quiet air of this room.
I am sinking into the low tide,
Letting the heavy kick drum wash me clean.
no place to run,
Nowhere to hide, just floating inside a velvet scene.
Saturday moves at its own slow pace.
I lock the front door and erase the space.
My socks slide along the cool wooden planks. I pour iced tea into a tall glass tumbler. The ice clinks softly like a gentle snare, matching the chill inside my chest. No deadlines knocking at my brain today, no corporate emails waiting for a reply, just a low frequency rattling the show for me sitting back to enjoy myself.
Notifications pile up behind the glass screen, everyone wants a piece of my afternoon. I let the digital noise float away like dust, breathing in the quiet air of this room.
I am sinking into the low tide,
Letting the heavy kick drum wash me clean.
no place to run,
Nowhere to hide, just floating inside a velvet scene.
Saturday moves at its own
Slow pace, I lock the front door and erase the space.
5 p.m. comes around with an indigo glow. The synth pads stretch out real deep and slow. I do not need a crowd about to feel alive, just this dim corner where my senses thrive.
Inner monologue turning into a groove, sitting so still I do not need to move. I am sinking into the low tide,
A muffled engine hums first down, cutting through the stillness of your living room. You drop your phone face down on the rug, letting all the group chats fade to blue. The sub bass from a streetcar vibrates soft, a steady 90 beats to clear your head. You kick your sneakers off against the wall, and pull the oversized hoodie overhead. No place to be before the evening comes, no urgent text demanding your reply. We let the ice melt in our tall glasses, watching golden shadows tilt and die. You don't have to hurry anymore, we can let the deep house spin real slow. Toss your calendar right out the window, there is nowhere that we need to go. Just relax your shoulders, let it kick. 808s are keeping us in place, Saturday is ours to leave untouched, breathing in the rhythm of this space. The distant hiss of air brakes on the curb, blends into the rose chord on the loop. You joke about the overtime you work, slouching deep into the sectional group. Your coffee cup is resting on a plate, you haven't opened up a single tab. We traded all the rush hour traffic stress for sunset pouring in across the slab. Oh, no place to be before the evening comes, no urgent text demanding your reply. We let the ice melt in our tall glasses, watching golden shadows tilt and die. You don't have to hurry anymore, we can let the deep house spin real slow. Toss your calendar right out the window, there is nowhere that we need to go. Just relax your shoulders, let it kick. 808s are keeping us in place, Saturday is ours to leave untouched, breathing in the rhythm of this space. Remember when we thought we had to sprint just to prove that we were keeping up? Now the synth pad holds us like a cloud, pouring calm into an empty cup. Look at you, you finally look at ease, no deadlines pulling on your heavy sleeve. We got 20 hours of pure air, not a single reason left to leave. But just stay right here on the couch, let the low end roll. No clocks ticking down the hour, street traffic turning into rain. We got all afternoon, nothing left to prove today. Warm cinnamon steam hangs near the door, floating slowly through the quiet corridor. She lets her bare feet drag across the floor, leaving her black canvas boots behind the couch. Her sweater sits draped on the kitchen chair, heavy with rain from 2 nights before. Neither of them checks what the screen might say, content to let the daylight slip away. A soft sub-bass pulse is low inside the room, the house kick ticks like a velvet pendulum. They do not care about the deadlines due, there is nothing left they need to prove. She spins around in deliberate motion, filling the glass with iced out flower. He leans against the counter with eyes half closed, catching the groove as the hi-hat hits the bassline, rolls in a smooth 4x4 through the hallway. Saturday moves at the speed of a resting heart. No place to run, no reason to start. Burnt hazelnut wafts from the tiny mocha pie. He shifts his weight across the velvet bench, loosening the knot on his woven robe. She flips the vine on the side B without a rush, dropping the needle on a vintage soul track. Outside the traffic rushes past the tinted pane, but inside the tempo stays warm and deep. A soft sub-bass pulses low inside the room, the house kick ticks like a velvet pendulum. They do not care about the deadlines due, there is nothing left they need to prove. She spins around in deliberate motion, filling the glass with iced elderflower. He leans against the counter with eyes half closed, catching the groove as the hi-hat hits the bassline, rolls in a smooth 4x4 through the hallway. Saturday moves at the speed of a resting heart. No place to run, no reason to start. 4, 5 o'clock creeps in like blue velvet ink. He washes 2 cups in the stainless steel sink. She traces the pattern of shadows across his sleeve with nowhere to go. cinnamon fades into sweet sandalwood. The house pad holds a single suspended cord. They stay in the room where the tempo stays low. Nothing to track, nowhere to go.
A sudden recollection cuts through stillness, driving right across the unlit hallway floor. The bass amplifier hums a low frequency, amplifying shadow behind the closet door.
Your half-empty mug sits on the glass tabletop.
Steam long gone, replaced by quiet air.
We have 48 hours with no obligations.
Just light filtered through your uncombed hair.
The synth chord holds a steady 4-bar loop.
Outside, the city moves at twice our speed.
We trade our schedules for a slow rhythm,
Giving this house the only pause we need.
sub-bass rolls
Beneath the hardwood floorboards, washing out the tension in our hands. No clocks are ticking in this shaded kitchen. No urgent calls, no complicated plans.
We let the tempo drop to 90 beats, watching dust motes float through filter blue.
The weekend claims us in a cinematic hush. Nothing left to prove, nothing left to do.
Ice melts slowly in a tall dark glass, clicking softly against the heavy rim. Your phone rests face down on the velvet cushion. The screen completely dark, the edges dim.
Street lights haven't turned on yet outside. The afternoon is stretching thin and wide. You lean your shoulder against the painted frame, watching smoke rings from the incense
The
glide.
synth chord holds a steady 4-bar loop.
Outside, the city moves at twice our speed.
We trade our schedules for a slow rhythm,
Giving this house the only pause we need.
sub-bass rolls
Beneath the hardwood floorboards, washing out the tension in our hands. No clocks are ticking in this shaded kitchen. No urgent calls, no complicated plans. We let the tempo drop to 90 beats, watching dust motes float through filter blue. The weekend claims us in a cinematic hush. Nothing left to prove, nothing left to do.
Drop a snare, just let the kick drum pulse.
A low pass filter takes away the sharp edges.
The afternoon turns amber on the rug.
Slipping past the cool stone window ledges.
We don't need a single word to fill the gap.
Silence is a luxury we finally own.
200 emails sitting unread in the inbox,
And every single notification turned off on the phone. Deep tones fade into the evening shade.
the beat slows down to a gentle tide.
Curtains sway in the terrace breeze.
Time catches up in a peaceful track.
Just deep bass and quiet air. Saturday lingering right here.
What happens to the lost 30 minutes when nobody keeps score? A sock on the floor looks like a sleeping cat in this dim light. Bassline thumping through the floorboards from the downstairs unit. Maybe they are having breakfast, or maybe they just woke up too. My phone screen lights up with a reminder I ignored 3 days ago.
Water dripping in the bathroom sink plays a steady triple time rhythm.
I should water the ferns on the windowsill eventually, or just watch the dust motes float through the soft violet haze. Thoughts drifting sideways in the cold green tea. The scent pad swells like a quiet tide, taking over the room.
Nobody is waiting for a reply. No calendar blinking red in the corner.
We are sinking
Down into the fabric of 2 p.m. No destination needed on the map today.
yeah. Trap drum snaps real light.
Water sub-bass roll slow. Let the unanswered question just hang in the ambient air.
We got nowhere to
Run, nothing to prove. Just floating inside this unbothered groove.
yeah. Did that leave the kitchen faucet dripping? Or is that just the beat? Ice cubes shrinking in the tumbler making tiny glass chimes. Yesterday felt like a marathon through heavy rain. Now my shoulders drop 4 inches lower than before.
Footsteps in the hallway
Pass by and melt away.
Someone smells like lavender.
An expensive laundry soap.
I wonder where they are heading in such a subtle hurry. I guess it does not matter at all right
Now
now.
it's drifting sideways in the cold green tea. The scent pad swells like a quiet tide taking
Over the room, nobody is waiting for a reply. No calendar blinking red in the corner. We are sinking down into the fabric of 2 p.m. No destination needed on the map today.
Yeah, trap drum snaps real light
While the sub bass rolls slow, let the unanswered question just hang in the ambient air.
We got nowhere to run
And nothing to prove, just floating inside this unbothered groove.
Yeah, ceiling fan turns in lazy circles above my head, counting every blade until I lose track of the number.
Is it 4 or 5 or just one continuous spin?
Some things are better left completely unresolved. The bass drops down into a deep house wave.
And my mind goes clear like glass.
Where did that missing half hour go? It does not need a reply.
Sub bass lingering on the carpet.
2 p.m. stretching out forever.
Just lingering right here.
Started beneath my thighs, supports every ounce of tension I used to carry. You were 22, running on gas station coffee, panicking over deadlines long forgotten. The velvet armchair sinks 3 inches deep, absorbing the rest of that old panic.
If I could send a message back through the sub bass thumping through my floorboards, I would tell you to take your hands off the wheel for once.
Look at us now, no alarm set for noon.
You thought rest was something you had to earn like
The
rent.
low frequency rolls
Like a slow on tide, you can finally let go of the grind. Listen, young heart, we made it to Saturday. The ice melts slow while the 808s breathe and sway.
You spent 3 straight years
Holding your breath in tight. I am taking all those saved up hours back tonight. Nothing is urgent, nothing is due. This empty room is forgiving you.
Yeah, remember how you counted your posts in the elevator at 2 in the morning? This plush swivel seat anchors me now without asking for a single report.
The house hums with a deep house cadence at 4 on the floor. I bought the comfort you could not afford back then. I sit here in soft cotton, sipping clean tea, watching clouds drift over the city grid.
You kept a mental ledger of every wasted second.
You thought stillness was a dangerous crime.
And now the afternoon melts into dark blue velvet.
And I am burning through the hours you saved for me, wasting them on purpose. Listen, young heart, we made it to Saturday. The ice melts slow while the 808s breathe and sway.
You spent 3 straight years
Holding your breath in tight. I am taking all the saved up hours back tonight. Nothing is urgent, nothing is due. This empty room is forgiving you. Exhale the 5-year plan. The heavy chair holds all our weight now. Ooh, rest easy, kid. We made it out.
Yeah. Copper glass saturates the concrete stoop, casting long key shadows on your shoes. You lean against the railing, holding juice, asking if the corner market stays open late. I tell you that the clock stopped hours ago, and nobody around here is keeping score today.
Sub bass goes beneath the sidewalk stones, sweeping out the noise inside our heads. No email unread, no phone call to make, just 2 casual voices floating in the air.
We talk about nothing while the afternoon burns down, trading simple sentences without a single frown.
You ask me where I'm headed, I say nowhere at all. Just watching how the shadows stretch along the brick wall.
Saturday moves soft when you let the world spin.
Listening to a stranger where the calm begins.
You mentioned how you used to rush every weekend, chasing down a deadline that was never real. I tell you how I finally turned on my alarm, discovering how peaceful 5 o'clock can feel. You pass a paper napkin across the wooden bench, drawing quick doodles of the passing streetcars.
Sub-bass goes beneath the sidewalk stone, sweeping out the noise inside our heads. No email unread, no phone call to make, just 2 casual voices floating in the air. We talk about nothing while the afternoon burns down. Trading simple sentences without a single frown. You ask me where I'm headed, I say nowhere at all. Just watching how the shadows stretch along the brick wall.
Saturday moves soft when you let the world spin.
Listening to a stranger where the calm begins.
No names required to share this quiet air. No promises to meet again next week. The bassline breeze, a steady trap soul beat as amber turns to deep velvet on the street.
You smile and say it's rare to find a pause, and I agree without a second thought. Copper turns to violet as you stand up to go. Have a good rest, you say softly in the glow. The street lamps flicker on, cool and slow. Just a stranger and a Saturday in flow. You said yesterday evening that sugar dissolves much slower when the cup is lukewarm. I watch a dark brown crystal sink down deep and spin inside the black ceramic form. A stray receipt from last week's groceries is curled against the dusty window ledge. Outside, a bicycle with squeaky brakes glides slowly past the yellow sidewalk edge. The subwoofer rattles softly on the floor. No missed calls flashing on the screen anymore. 2 mismatched socks resting by the rug. A lingering heat rising from the mug. Everything moves at 40 beats a minute. This empty afternoon and all that's in it. A water droplet sliding down the glass, watching every quiet second slowly pass. No place to run, no calendar to keep. Just low frequency drifting through the deep. The microwave display blinks 12 o'clock, resetting since the storm came through at dawn. Your leather jacket hangs across the chair. The scent of sandalwood is almost gone. A green leaf drops from the ficus tree, landing softly right beside my shoe. The ceiling fan turns round in lazy circles, cutting through the ambient shade of blue. The subwoofer rattles softly on the floor. No missed calls flashing on the screen anymore. 2 mismatched socks resting by the rug. A lingering heat rising from the mug. Everything moves at 40 beats a minute. This empty afternoon and all that's in it. A water droplet sliding down the glass, watching every quiet second slowly pass. No place to run, no calendar to keep. Just low frequency drifting through the deep. A neighborhood cat stretches on the hood of a sedan. I turn the dial down as gently as I can. Notice how the dust motes float inside the shade. Notice how the pressure starts to fade. Observations stacked up on the wooden table, living out the day as calm as we are able. Lukewarm coffee in the black ceramic cup. No one asking me to hurry up. Just the low bass humming through the floorboards. Nothing left to prove, no remaining score. Saturday, hanging in the quiet air. Cactus on the fire escape, leaning over there. Recurrent precious warm against my thumb. A familiar heavy neon. This this quiet lounge sofa.
The low sub-bass hums through the apartment floorboards. Unwinding the tension from 5 days of overload. I trace the frayed seam near the cuff, and suddenly I am back in that downpour in October.
You wore this oversized sweater when we ran for shelter, laughing under the awning of the closed bodega. The smell of damp wool and dark coffee lingering, a moment frozen right before the world got loud. Now the clock ticks empty on a Saturday afternoon, and the memory slides in like a warm scent tide. Let the deep beat roll while the shadows shift slow. I am anchored right here with nowhere to go, floating through the weekend, drowning out the noise, replaying your voice in the mid-tempo haze. Just a soft fabric thread pulling back yesterday, while the bassline washes every worry away.
Chill brew sweats onto a glass coaster. The trap soul snare hits crisp in my headphones. I close my eyes and feel the warm weave again. Remembering how you tucked your chin into the collar. We had no deadlines then, no calendar alerts, just two people lingering in a temporary haze. Now it is just me and this unhurried silence.
You wore this oversized sweater when we ran for shelter, laughing under the awning of the closed bodega. The smell of damp wool and dark coffee lingering, a moment frozen right before the world got loud. Now the clock ticks empty on a Saturday afternoon, and the memory slides in like a warm scent tide. Let the deep beat roll while the shadow shifts slow. I am anchored right here with nowhere to go, floating through the weekend, drowning out the noise, replaying your voice in the mid-tempo haze. Just a soft fabric thread pulling back yesterday, while the bassline washes every worry away. Past tense meets the present in the quiet kick drum. Nostalgia does not sting when the rhythm is this smooth. I fold the sleeve back and let the thought rest, breathing in the space where we used to exist. No rush to move, no reason to call, just watching the afternoon light climb the wall. Yeah. Ripped cotton weave, quiet afternoon. The sub-bass holds the floor. Yesterday is warm, but today is peaceful. Unassigned hours, lingering soft, fade out on the low synth chord.
Yeah. Projected on the ceiling of a house we don't own yet. I picture us 5 autumns down the line. No morning alarms, no unresolved regret. The sub-bass hums low through the floorboards below, a slow tempo breathing where the city lights fade. You were tangled in linen with nowhere to go, enjoying every single late decision we made. We traded the deadlines for silk and soft air, left all the rushing back in 2024. And now I can see us just hovering there, with nothing left to prove behind a heavy oak door. This is the Sunday that we are gonna build, a steady being knocking while the kettle gets warm. Every empty hour finally feels safe inside the sanctuary after the storm. Trap drums ticking like a slow-moving clock, deep house pulsing in the back of my mind. When the future lands, we will let the front door lock and leave the restless world behind. And leave the restless world behind. I close my eyes and feel the bassline drop, 1,000 Saturdays away from right now. We used to think the grinding would never stop, but look at how we figured out the cadence somehow. Pouring cold brew while the low frequencies hit thick, no evening anxiety creeping through the hall. Time moves soft when you lose the habit to tick, and bright memories line the hallway wall. We traded the deadlines for silk and soft air, left all the rushing back in 2024. Now I can see us just hovering there, with nothing left to prove behind a heavy oak door. This is the Sunday that we are gonna build, a steady beat knocking while the kettle gets warm. Every empty hour finally feels safe inside the sanctuary after the storm. Trap drums ticking like a slow-moving clock, deep house pulsing in the back of my mind. When the future lands, we will let the front door lock and leave the restless world behind. It has not happened yet, but I can taste the peace. The 808s thumping softly under our feet, a guaranteed surrender, a complete release.
daydreaming on this crowded Monday train. One day the noise will finally stop, and only the stillness will remain.
The scratch brass paperweight pins down, a receipt I do not need to read today. Sub-bass ripples through the floorboards now, watching every lingering deadline far away. I let my phone screen stay dark and flat, no notifications calling out my name. Just deep house chords and a quiet mat, stepping out of the weekly rat race game.
Low frequencies hold the living room still. I breathe in slow, feeling the room fill. Nobody is waiting on my reply, watching muted clouds drift past the eye.
Cause Saturday belongs to
No one else. I locked the front door and muted the bell. Rhythm flows slow and the 40 hertz hum, waiting for nothing that's yet to come. Deep in the groove where the bass line bends.
This is where the busy world
Finally ends.
The ice in my tumbler melts down to glass, tracing small circles as the hours pass. Trap soul snares ticking like a subtle clock. Nothing in my head needs a heavy lock. I stretch my legs on the velvet couch, no heavy burdens left inside my pouch. Just warm scent pads wrapping around my spine, taking back every second that is mine.
Low frequencies hold the living room still. I breathe in slow, feeling the room fill. Nobody is waiting on my reply, watching muted clouds drift past the eye.
The Saturday belongs
To no one else. I locked the front door and muted the bell. Rhythm flows slow and the 40 hertz hum, waiting for nothing that's yet to come. Deep in the groove where the bass line bends. This is where the busy world finally ends.
No alarm setting off at 6 a.m. No polite email signed off with the night. Just atmospheric reverberations in space. A gentle pulse at my own chosen pace.
In a monologue, quiet, simple and clear. I am exactly where I need to be, right here. The paperweight holds down the empty page. I step entirely off the weekly stage. Bassline fade into a feather-like click. Weekend leisure, steady and thick.
Tarnished across wet asphalt, 3 floors down, reverberating
Through the window frame, you are sitting on the edge of the sofa with your shoulders tense again. Drop the glass on the coaster and release your jaw.
I can see the notifications flashing on your palm,
but you do not need to look.
You gave away 40 hours to a screen that never cares. Now the sub-bass is rolling through the floorboards, slow and deep. Unbutton that collar and let your hands rest still.
We are taking back every single second they stole. Nothing needs your signature today, my friend. We can watch the neon lights hum as the evening settles in. Pour another glass, let the tempo pull you down. You earn this quiet space. Stop checking for the ping. Nothing needs your signature today.
A distant delivery bike rattles up the hill and disappears. You still reach into your pocket like you forgot a deadline.
Look at me, the city keeps moving, whether you respond or not. The ice is melting down into the tea. The kick drum holds the room. You do not have to explain why you are sitting in the dark. Nothing needs your signature today, my friend. We can watch the neon lights hum as the evening settles in. Pour another glass, let the tempo pull you down. You earn this quiet space. Stop checking for the pain. Nothing needs your signature today. Monday is a ghost hiding behind the horizon line. Right now this living room belongs strictly to us. No status updates, no reports due at midnight. Just the warm pad synth and a friend who knows you are tired.
Let the street sound stay outside the glass. Leave your keys right there on the counter.
You made it through the week.
Just breathe out.
We have all night.
frosted lavender drifts through a hallway, settling slow on the unmade duvet. She moves like a shadow across warm floorboards. Nothing to settle, no debts to repay. The bass in the speaker hums 80 BPM, warms up frequency, filling the room. Her calendar app sits quietly muted, safe from the corporate gloom. No rush in her step when she pours the dark rose. No panic in watching the hours drift west. The city is running this endless marathon while she claims her right to rest. She lets the afternoon take its time, tracing the shadows on polished concrete. House pulses in a steady line, sinking soft into velvet. No place to be, no cause to return, just slow synth chords in the slow burning light. She guards the space that she had to earn, far away from the deadline fight. Oversized hoodie hits middle thigh length, cold brew steeping in the glass mason jar. She checks on the ferns by the balcony door, watching traffic from afar. A low trap snare snaps soft in the corner, rhythm drifting down the long corridor. Her inbox can wait until Monday at 9. She won't answer anymore. No rush in the step when she pours the dark rose. No panic in watching the hours drift west. The city is running this endless marathon while she claims her right to rest. She lets the afternoon take its time, tracing the shadows on polished concrete. Deep house pulses in a steady line, sinking soft into velvet sheet. No place to be, no cause to return, just low synth chords and a slow burning light. She guards the space that she had to earn, far away from the deadline fight. 2 p.m. blends right into 4:30. Filter sunlight on her indoor palm. She kicks off her socks on the woven rug, drowning deep in the weekend cold. Let the city buzz beyond the double pane. She locked the world outside a sanctuary door. She finally reclaimed her stolen hours, not asking for anything more. Sweet roasted lavender floating away, deep bass vibrating the floor. She leans back slow in the fading light, unbothered anymore. An uninvited memory snaps to quiet, shattering the stillness in the living room space. Ice melts in a highball glass beside it, leaving rings of water on the speaker base. Sub bass ripples through the velvet couch cushion, 80 beats per minute floating soft and slow. Outside Saturday is rushing with emotion, trapped inside the shadow of the window glow. Dust particles dance inside the hallway light, no emails popping up to steal the scene. We trade the urgency for blue and white, a lazy film playing on a muted screen. We got nowhere to be and no place to run, floating over muted basslines until the night is done. Deep house humming through the floorboards low, trap drums kicking with a velvet flow. Let the city turn its wheels outside, we just sink into this slow motion ride. Silk rope hanging off the sofa edge, cold brew dripping through a paper cone. You lean your elbows on the granite ledge, flipping past the notifications on your phone. Cinematic shadows stretching down the floor. 2 p.m. arrives without a single key in the door. Dust particles dance inside the hallway light, no emails popping up to steal the scene. We trade the urgency for blue and white, a lazy film playing on a muted screen. We got nowhere to be and no place to run, floating over muted basslines until the night is done. Deep house humming through the floorboards low, trap drums kicking with a velvet flow. Let the city turn its wheels outside, we just sink into this slow motion ride. The synthesizer swells and then it fades away, a frame by frame picture of a seamless day. No clocks ticking, no alarms to chime. We found a pocket in the bend of time.
Subwoofer pulsing like a gentle heart. This weekend scene is our private art.
An uninvited memory.
Gone with the breeze. Just low bass, soft light, and endless ease.
Where does the unspoken conversation go when the room stops vibrating? Now watch a tiny water ring dry up on the edge of my glass. Ice melted 2 hours ago, or maybe 3. Time feels sideways through the blinds. A sub-bass frequency hums in my chest at 60 beats per minute. I wonder if the guy upstairs ever fixed his squeaky floorboard. It doesn't matter now, everything is cushioned in soft velvet reverb. Thoughts loop like a rose chord over a 4-bar phrase. No notifications flashing, just the blue light on an idle speaker. My heels press into the cool hardwood, completely still. Is it strange that an empty calendar feels like a quiet victory? We drift in the slow lane without a destination. Let the trap snare tick like a clock running in reverse. No calls to return, no places to be seen tonight. Just floating in the middle of a zero pressure radius. Sub-bass washing over every single worry from Thursday. Unbound, unbothered, dissolved into the car. I suddenly remember a denim jacket I lost at a party 2 years ago. Did someone else wear it home and feel the late night breeze? The ceiling fan makes 3 slow rotations, then hesitates. My mind jumps from linen sheets to tires rolling through wet street slush. Why do we always try to put a label on every quiet hour? Right now, sitting with nothing is the richest thing I own. We drift in the slow lane without a destination. Let the trap snare tick like a clock running in reverse. No calls to return, no places to be seen tonight. Just floating in the middle of a zero pressure radius. Sub-bass washing over every single worry from Thursday. Unbound, unbothered, dissolved into the carpet. A distant memory of salt ocean water on skin, and a sudden craving for cold tea at 4 in the afternoon. The deep house kick stays warm against the floorboard. Stream of consciousness, nowhere to direct the current. Let it spill past the doorway, let it fade into the dark. What was that original question I asked myself? It evaporated before I could trace the words. 80 BPM pulse slowing into a long exhale breath. Just the speaker hum, just the stillness. Nothing left to answer. Molded ergonomic foam absorbs the burden as my full weight settles in this frame today. Remember when you thought that resting was a crime? Running on energy drinks at 3 a.m. You were terrified of stopping for a second. Scared the world will move ahead without your name. Now I sink back in this dark upholstered cushion, watching quiet dust motes dance inside the room. The 808 is posing low and steady, so bass rolling through the living room floor. I wish I could send a message back in time to tell you that the future isn't cruel. You can breathe out now, we made it to the weekend. There is no emergency that needs your hands. Put the laptop down and let your shoulders dry. Everything you worked for finally landed safe. You don't have to earn the right to sit right here. Just let the heavy chair hold you up today. Remember how you held your jaw so tight at night, counting hours left before the alarm will scream. You spent your 23 worrying about the rain, checking your balance 5 times every afternoon. Now the hours stretch out with nothing left to pay. Cold iced tea sweating on the coaster's edge. I wish you knew how soft this velvet actually feels when you stop treating time like a thief in the room. The 808 It's pulsing low and steady, so bass rolling through the living room floor. I wish I could send a message back in time to tell you that the future isn't cruel. You can breathe out now, we made it to the weekend. There is no emergency that needs your hands. Put the laptop down and let your shoulders drop. Everything you work for finally landed safe. You don't have to earn the right to sit right here. Just let the heavy chair hold you up today. Listen, listen, listen to the house beat, sliding through the hallway, 4 on the floor and the tempo doesn't rush. You were always sprinting toward the finish line, never knowing that the finish line was peace. Living in the room you dreamed about, safe inside the depth of this armchair. So release your fingers from the keyboard, close your eyes and let the cushion take your weight. We made it to Saturday, we made it all the way home. Yeah, yesterday you told me cheap espresso, tastes a little bit like burnt hazelnut shells. Now I'm staring at the steam rising slow, trapped inside these quiet 4 corner spells. The fuchsia thread unravels on the couch scene, the refrigerator hums a steady flat beat, ceiling fan spinning like a lazy dream. Nothing that I really have to do or see. Blue light blinks once on the turned down screen, I leave it lying face down on the rug. Filter light washes over olive green, cool towel resting underneath my mug. Just a list of little things, staying still. Dust speck floating over dark with veneer, potted Fern bending on the windowsill. Nobody is asking why we are sitting here. Let the bassline roll in sub-low waves, watching condensation trace a curved line. These are all the small details we can save, taking back the hours that were never mine. Across the narrow brick alleyway space, a tabby cat sleeps on the air conditioner box. Ice cubes melting down at their own slow pace. Unheard chime of turned off morning clocks. Fingerprints smudged on the toaster side, a stack of mail sitting unopened and still. Nothing left to fix and nowhere to hide. Water in the kettle starting to fill. Blue light blinks once on the turned down screen, I leave it lying face down on the rug. Filter light washes over olive green, cool towel resting underneath my mug. Just a list of little things, staying still. Dust speck floating over dark with veneer, potted Fern bending on the windowsill. Nobody is asking why we are sitting here. Let the bassline roll in sub-low waves, watching condensation trace a curved line. These are all the small details we can save, taking back the hours that were never mine. You said time is just a habit we build, standing by the sink with your sleeves rolled back. Now the room feels completely fulfilled in the quiet gaps where the pressure goes slack. No calendar calls, no urgent demands, just shadows shifting across the pine floors, holding this quiet into open hands behind these unlocked wooden doors. Cheap espresso in a ceramic cup, steam rising slow, just letting the Saturday beat build up. Nowhere to go, nowhere to go. Yeah. Chorus brush, flannel folds across my knees, tracing threads from late October's chill. No alone to cut the quiet breeze, sitting where the afternoon stands still. My thumb runs down to freight hem on the side, and suddenly I'm back in your old room. We had no deadlines, nowhere left to hide, just lazy basslines pushing through the gloom. The sub-bass ripples through the floorboards now, a silent post that pulls the ghost in close. I can't recall the why or priceless moments matter most. Unwinding in the velvet Sunday shade, replaying every word we never spoke. The world outside can hurry while we fade, surrounded by the gentle rhythm we awoke. Nothing to prove, and no place we should be, just quiet fabric holding memory. The heavy weave remembers how you leaned against the couch before the tempo drop. Between the heavy kick and sin scream, the ticking of the kitchen clock just stopped. I sip cold tea and stretch my legs out wide, watching dust mold spin inside the beam. The weekend lets the years roll back inside, dissolving pressure in a one long drain. In the velvet Sunday shade, replaying every word we never spoke. The world outside can hurry while we fade, surrounded by the gentle rhythm we awoke. Nothing to prove, and no place we should be, just quiet fabric holding a memory. Soft friction on my skin, a quiet key, unlocking doors I thought were closed for good. You don't need to return or answer me. I'm settling right where I always stood. The synth chord holds the low end, takes its time, and taking time is not a crime. Faded flannel resting on my lap. The subway slowly settles down. No schedules left to keep today, just memory and stillness in the room. Oh, for a blinks and muted violet shade, a digital countdown to a promise made. I close my eyes and project the scene, a distant June where the air is clean. No urgent pings on a handheld screen, just a frequency bass and a velvet dream. We would sleep till the shadow hits the floor, leaving the world outside the heavy door. I can see you standing in that future light, trading late night shifts for a quiet night, sinking down deep in an oversized chair, breathing in the stillness floating in the air. That is where we are heading when the work is done, catching up to zero under newborn sun. Deep sub bass and a 2-day glide, nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, just a projected Saturday floating clear, holding on to magic that is almost here. I picture the sunlight curving on the wall, no deadline coming, no emergency call. Ice cubes melting in a crystal glass, watching the quiet hours slowly pass. Filter sweeps moving like a tidal wave, saving every second that we used to save. Your head on my shoulder as the tempo drops, living in the moment where the clock just stops. I can see you standing in that future light, trading late night shifts for a quiet night, sinking down deep in an oversized chair, breathing in the stillness floating in the air. That is where we are headed when the work is done, catching up to zero under newborn sun. Deep sub bass and a 2-day glide, nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, just a projected Saturday floating clear, holding on to magic that is almost here. It has not happened yet, but I hold the frame of time when Sunday does not feel like a game. We will map the future in a slow motion groove when we do not have a single thing to prove. Oh, for blinks, but I am already there, floating on a scent line in the cool room air. A future weekend waiting in the dark, leaving behind every heavy mark, just you and me in the afterglow. Slow, so slow. Yeah. single J marble rests inside the tiny chip along the glass table rim. It stays completely still, no need to hide, while sunlight in the corner starts to dim. My phone lies face down on the sofa cushion. Dead battery, no urge to find a chord. After 5 long days of endless pushing, I am beautifully, exquisitely bored. The sub bass from the floor below is humming low, a steady 90 beats per minute, soft and slow. I feel my heavy shoulders drop an inch or two. There is nothing left I am obligated to do. This is the pause I fought with 40 hours, watching the curtains sway in shadows on the wall. No deadlines blooming like synthetic flowers, no urgent voices pacing down the hall. I'm sinking deep inside a rhythm made of velvet, no pressure kicking at my chest today. If peace is something tangible, I felt it, just watching daylight slowly drift away. The polished glass reflects the fan in motion, a lazy circle cutting through warm air. I used to think that resting took devotion, now I just melt back in this corduroy chair. Smooth trap soul chords drift through the open hallway, sweet synth pads floating up like incense smoke. No emails crowding up my mind the wrong way, no heavy promises I almost broke. The sub bass from the floor below is humming low, a steady 90 beats per minute, soft and slow. I feel my heavy shoulders drop an inch or two. There is nothing left I am obligated to do. This is the pause I fought with 40 hours, watching the curtains sway in shadows on the wall. No deadlines blooming like synthetic flowers, no urgent voices pacing down the hall. Sinking deep inside a rhythm made of velvet, no pressure kicking at my chest today. If peace is something tangible, I felt it, just watching daylight slowly drift away. My thoughts are unfiltered water running clean, no corporate language filter in my mind, just quiet space between what was and what could mean, and soft white sheets I left unmade behind. I nudge the jade stone with the fingernail. It spins 3 times and settles back to rest. The crowded city outside takes a long exhale, and stillness fills the center of my chest. Jade marble on the glass, let the whole evening pass. Deep house warm through the floorboards now. We made it to the calm somehow, just breathing slow, nothing left to show. Street sweeper bristle scrape the curb down on the corner where the buses turn. You are leaning back into the woven chair, no emails loading in the summer air. You dropped your heavy jacket by the floor. We are in no rush to hit that front door. Low frequency hums through floorboards now. We forgot what that deadline was about. Throw your phone in the velvet pouch, sink a little deeper in the corner couch. Leave your keys beside the speaker like we got nowhere to run before daylight. Deep bass rolling while the kick drum sways. Just 2 friends wasting honest days. No demands on your time or mine. Leave the whole restless world behind. Yeah, skateboard wheels clicking on the street below. Echo up the alley real soft and slow. You pour 2 glasses with the crushed cold ice. Do not ask about the week, do not ask twice. Your shoulders finally dropping down an inch. We survived every tight deadline pinch. Low frequency hums through floorboards now. We forgot what that deadline was about. Throw your phone in the velvet pouch, sink a little deeper in the corner couch. Leave your keys beside the speaker like we got nowhere to run before daylight. Deep bass rolling while the kick straps up, bass thumping through a warm violet haze. Remember when we chased those endless paydays? Now we got 48 hours of pure peace. Every single pressure point gets released. You do not have to explain a thing to me. We just exist in the sound, completely free, free, free. Baseline pulsing real low and warm. Safe inside from the Monday storm. Just kick back, my friend, stay right here. Nothing to chase for another year. Dry cedar incense lingers along hallway. Walls while she leaves her sneakers at the door. Her phone is silenced on the granite counter. No urgent emails flashing anymore. She pours cold tonic over cracked ice cubes and lets the heavy bass line start to roll. The 808 hits low inside her chest. She steps across the rug in cotton socks. No deadlines waiting on the calendar. She turns the key and turns off all the clocks. She lets the weekend hold her down. No calls to answer in this quiet town. Deep house echoes through the empty hall. She watches shadows dance along the wall. It's 48 hours just to breathe. Nothing to fix and nowhere else to be. A notebook sits unopened on a chair. The laptop screen is dark and put away. She stretches slowly in the dim lounge light, forgetting every hassle from Friday. A glass of amber liquor on the table. She sways along the floor, kick drums. The city flickers through a balcony glass. As total relaxation finally comes. The 808 hits low inside her chest. She steps across the rug in cotton socks. No deadlines waiting on the calendar. She turns the key and turns off all the clocks. She lets the weekend hold her down, hold her down. No calls to answer in this quiet town. Deep house echoes through the empty hall. She watches shadows dance along the wall. It's 48 hours just to breathe. Nothing to fix and nowhere else to be. Monday can wake behind the dead bone lock. Tonight she owns the tempo of her space. The sub-bass washes every worry out and leaves a subtle smile upon her face. The cedar smoke dissolves into the dark. She rests her head back as the rhythm fades. Another quiet evening in her world, safe in the sanctuary she has made. A rogue idea fractures the stillness, floating past the half-drawn blinds. Sub-bass thumps through plaster walls, leaving weekday stress behind. Ice cube sweat on polished glass, amber liquor catches light. No alarms all set to ring, nothing needs to win tonight. Dust most dense in amber beams, time expands its heavy frame out beyond the double glass. No one calls my missing name. Drop the needle on the groove, let the tempo pull us down. This is where the city slows, trapped inside a velvet groove. Low and heavy, heart racing, we do not even have to move. Saturday in 80 BPM, let the kick drum wash away. We are swallowed by the space far beyond the working day. Shadows stretch across the floor, satin cushions hold the weight. Messages remain unread, let the inbox calculate. Sipping tea with lemon peel, smoke swirls slow against the ceiling. This is cinematic grace, pure unfiltered human feeling. Freeze the frame right on this spark, ambient lights flicker low. Rhythm pulses in the dark, nowhere that we need to go. Engine hums fade on the street, peace becomes a heavy crown. Watch the scene unfolding slow as the evening settles down. Broke idea is lost in the air. Only beat and breath remain. Nothing left to carry there. Why does the ceiling fan turn so slowly when nobody is waiting? Shadows stretch across the rug like spilled ink on blue silk. The bass kicks on with 3 apartments down, heavy and muted. My toes sink deep into the woven fibers of the carpet. Notifications pile up like dry leaves on a dark windshield. I am thinking about nothing and everything at the same moment. Ice melts quietly inside the tall glass on the table. Thoughts drifting from last Tuesday's email to the way the breeze feels. Everything is soft around the edges, softened by warm scent pads. No deadline can reach inside this square meter of calm velvet. I am just listening to my heart beat against the sofa cushion. Let the clock spin backwards if it wants to try. The sub bass hums low through my spine, keeping me grounded. Stream of light, stream of mind, losing track of the hours. Nothing to fix, nothing to claim. Floating above the floorboards. This weekend belongs to the empty space between my thoughts. Did I leave the water running, or is that just the ambient scent? Warm air drifts through the cracked window with the scent of distant rain. Remember when we used to rush across town just to catch a sunset? Now 5 o'clock arrives and slips away like smoke through screen wire. My fingers trace the double stitches on the cushion edge. A sudden memory of an old friend dissolves before I can name it. Let the clock spin backwards if it wants to try. The sub bass hums slow through my spine, keeping me grounded. Stream of light, stream of mind, losing track of the hours. Nothing to fix, nothing to claim. Floating above the floorboards. This weekend belongs to the empty space between my thoughts. Inhale the silence, exhale the noise of the whole work week. The trap snare drops light like a single raindrop, hitting warm glass, past, present, future, all melting into a single continuous pulse. Why answer any question when the silence feels this complete? Just drifting through the room. The fan keeps spinning in quiet circles overhead. Bassline holding the room together. Unanswered thoughts dissolving into the ambient glow. Stillness in motion. Heavy leather cushion cradles my weight, holding up a frame that used to run on panic. I look at the clock, it says 12:15, and no alarm is waiting to destroy the quiet. I wish I could send a message back 6 years to the kid drinking cold brew at 3 in the morning, staring at spreadsheets with burning eyes, convinced that a single mistake would end the world. Sub bass throbs off through the floorboards now. A 38 Hertz pulse, keeping time with my breathing. You used to think resting was just wasting time, but look at how the room holds us up without trying. Dear 19, on me, you can breathe now. We made it to Saturday without breaking down. The chair supports every ounce of our stress, and nobody is checking if we did our best today. Put the mug down, turn the screen off. The future you built isn't going to collapse. Remember those nights in the fluorescent light, counting coins for rent while your chest stayed tight. You thought if you stopped you would sink into dust. Never trust in the moment or someone to trust. Now the 808 snaps in the slow tempo groove. The ice in my glass is the only thing that moves. No crying is calling, no deadlines remain. I washed all the urgency out of our veins. Sub bass drops off through the floorboards now. A 38 Hertz pulse, keeping time on my breathing. Used to think resting was just wasting time, but look at how the room holds us up without trying. Dear 19, on me, you can breathe now. We made it to Saturday without breaking down. The chair supports every ounce of our stress, and nobody is checking if we did our best today. Put the mug down, turn the screen off. The future you built isn't going to collapse. If I could reach through the screen, know that old laptop, I would take the weight off your shoulders and pull you back. You were so scared of falling behind the pack, but the finish line was just a place to sit back. Feel the solid frame underneath our thighs. We finally earned the right to close our eyes. The bassline rolls slow in the afternoon shade. Everything you feared just drifted away. You survived the climb, kid. You can rest now. Just sink into the chair. Yeah. Burnt orange glare washes over stainless steel, reflecting off the tumbling glass inside machine floor. You ask if I have 2 extra quarters to spare. Setting your coffee on the lemonade table. I reach in my jacket, past the silver cross, watching the indigo shadows lengthen outside. You say Saturdays feel heavier when you rush, so you came here just to sit and let the clock spin. Subwoofers drumming from a passing sedan, warm air floating with lavender scent. No place to be, no notifications to check, just 2 strangers catching a breather. Let the spin cycle roll, let the afternoon bleed. We do not need names to share this kind of ease. Low 808 hums while the sunlight turns red, unwinding the tension that lived in our heads. No deadlines ahead, no promises made, just quiet words spoken while the colors fade. You tell me you work 40 hours uptown, designing logos for people who never say thanks. I tell you I finally turned off my phone, leaving my emails buried in the draft queue. You laugh softly, leaning back on plastic chairs, watching the cotton tumble slow to a stop. A rare kind of stillness in a city that burns, trading small truths with someone I do not know. Subwoofers storming from a passing sedan, warm air floating with lavender scent. No place to be, no notifications to check, just 2 strangers catching a breather. Let the spin cycle roll, let the afternoon bleed. We do not need names to share this kind of ease. Low 808 hums while the sunlight turns red, unwinding the tension that lived in our heads. No deadlines ahead, no promises made, just quiet words spoken while the colors fade. The dryer chimes 5 times, but neither moves yet. We let the lingering warmth hold the space. You say the best conversations happen by chance, when nobody is trying to prove who they are. I nod slowly as the bass synth glides low, grateful for a Sunday that takes its own time. Let the spin cycle roll. Let the afternoon bleed. We do not need names to share this kind of ease. So 808 hums while the sunlight turns red, unwinding the tension that lived in our heads. No deadlines ahead, no promises made, just quiet words spoken while the colors fade. Burnt orange turns to twilight plum outside. You pack up your basket, offer a gentle smile. Have a good weekend, you say at the door. I'll watch you step out into the calm night air. Just a simple exchange on a slow afternoon. You mentioned yesterday that lemon peel improves cheap water. Now a yellow swirl floats inside a mason jar. A dust mote spins across the hallway shadow, while the radiator hums like an idling car. The neighbor's indoor cat sits on the sill, watching the sparrow hop across the gray asphalt. Break my phone battery, rests at 92%, and there is absolutely nothing I need to click. Sub bass, moving through the hardwood floor. We do not have to leave this room or open up the door. A silver spoon rests on a folded mailer. Time is shifting like a casual tailor. Count the small observations on a quiet afternoon. The condensation dripping off the bottom of the spoon. The way the woven blanket holds a crease against your knee. A lazy rhythmic tempo setting both our minds free. Deep bass rolling under static air. Nothing urgent waiting anywhere. Yeah. A blue wax candle burns down to a polished notch. Your leather wristband rests beside my digital watch. The sunlight cuts a diagonal beam across the rug, illuminating tiny fibers in a porcelain mug. A delivery truck rumbles 3 streets away. Soft synth pads pulsing through the middle of the day. You shift your shoulder just an inch to the left, leaving the noise of the city completely bereft. Sub bass moving through the hardwood floor. We do not have to leave this room or open up the door. A silver spoon rests on a folded mailer. Time is shifting like a casual tailor. Count the small observations on a quiet afternoon. The condensation dripping off the bottom of the spoon. The way the woven blanket holds a crease against your knee. A lazy rhythmic tempo setting both our minds free. Deep bass rolling under static air. Nothing urgent waiting anywhere. Notice how the ice cube melts into a rounded dome. Notice how the bass kick makes the small apartment feel like home. No calendar alarms, no notifications sent. Just 24 hours of absolute content. Yellow lemon peel floating near the top. Deep house groove that never has to stop. A tiny speck of dust in a beam of light. Everything is easy. Everything is right. Wide denim weave merged against my knees as I lean back into the deep section. No sofa, a low sub bass pulse vibrates through the hardwood floor, keeping time with the slow ceiling fan. The daylight filters soft through pale gray blinds, pouring stillness over my bare ankles. I run my thumb across the fading, and suddenly the friction takes me back to summers ago. We were sitting on the tailgate of your rusty pickup, sharing a lukewarm canned iced tea. The smell of salt air and dashboard dust floods the room without a sound. Back when we thought every free afternoon had to be earned through endless noise. Now the clock on the microwave just blinks 12 without demanding a single answer. I sink a little deeper into the cushions, letting the old memory wash through me. This quiet Saturday plays like an old mixtape recorded on high-grade chrome. Deep house chords roll beneath the memory of your laugh across the vinyl seat. Nothing to chase today, no deadlines waiting at the bottom of my phone. Just the soft weave under my fingers and the peaceful distance where you belong. We spent our youth running, but today I am content to just drift in place. I shift my weight and feel the cool Egyptian cotton sheets slipping down my shoulder. The snare snaps crisp in the speakers while a lush synthesizer pad wraps around the room. I remember how you used to trace the seams on my jacket whenever you were nervous. You promised we would find a weekend where the hours didn't feel like a ticking fuse. It took 3 years, but I finally made it to this silent, effortless afternoon. The smell of salt air and dashboard dust floods the room without a sound. Back when we thought every free afternoon had to be earned through endless noise. Now the clock on the microwave just blinks 12 without demanding a single answer. I sink a little deeper into the cushions, letting the old memory wash through me. This quiet Saturday plays like an old mixtape recorded on high-grade chrome. Deep house chords roll beneath the memory of your laugh across the vinyl seat. Nothing to chase today, no deadlines waiting at the bottom of my phone. Just a soft weave under my fingers in the peaceful distance where you belong. We spent our youth running, but today I am content to just drift in place. Flashbacks don't hurt when the bassline is this smooth and steady. They just float like dust motes suspended in late afternoon sunlight. You were a chapter of restless energy, but I am the calm after the storm. I close my eyes and trace the thread, letting the past dissolve into the cushions. Frayed denim beneath my palms. Yeah, to keep drumming in the background. No place to be, no one to call. Just a golden memory, resting softly on a quiet weekend sheet. Yeah. 11:20 hangs upon the bedroom display. No alarm set for the rest of our days. I close my eyes and project where we will be, living in the loft overlooking the sea. Cold brew steeping while the subwoofer hums, waiting for the lazy afternoon to come. No client calls and no calendar demands, just smoothing and resting underneath your hands. We are not there yet, still working through the grind. But I can see that exact peaceful state of mind. A deep house rhythm drifting down the hall, shadows stretching slow against the plaster wall. Someday in the future, every Saturday is clean. No hurry in our blood, just a quiet bassline dream. Trap soul bounce on a 30-inch speaker, holding you close as the sunlight grows weaker. No deadline pressing on the back of my neck, just love and leisure that we finally collect. I picture the kitchen bathed in pastel gray, pouring double shots for another lazy day. You in my hoodie with the sleeves pulled down, miles away from the stress of the town. The clock hits 12 and we stay right here. Nothing left to chase and nothing left to fear. Synthesizer chords floating through the space, watching time slow down in your quiet face. Right now it is late shifts and dirty commuter trains, counting down hours through the foggy window panes. But I build a sanctuary inside my head, where we sleep past noon on a king-size bed. Someday in the future, every Saturday is clean. No hurry in our blood, just a quiet bassline dream. Trap soul bounce on a 30-inch speaker, holding you close as the sunlight grows weaker. No deadline pressing on the back of my neck, just love and leisure that we finally collect. 11:20 on a clock that does not rush us now. We made it out somehow, just the low sub bass and you're breathing slow. That is where my imagined weekends go. A ton of silver coin sits resting beside my cooling porcelain mug. I watch the dust mold softly drift drifting above the dark oak dining rug. No notifications flashing red. No deadline knocking in my head. The bassline loops in 88. I let the world outside just wait. My thumb traces the cold smooth edge, standing at the quiet ledge. From Monday face to ancient news, and I have nothing left to lose except the tension in my spine. This muted afternoon is mine. Sub bass thumping through the floorboards light. Everything feels heavy in the softest way. I do not need to prove a thing tonight. Just let the warm kick drum dictate the day. No calls to answer, no place to run. Just low frequencies and slow afternoon sun. I turn the metal twice around. It catches shadows from the blind. A deep house groove without a sound playing inside my unhurried mind. The tea steams down to lukewarm sweet. I rest my socks upon the seat. 2 full days without a trace of running in the endless race. My thumb traces the cold smooth edge, standing at the quiet ledge. Where Monday fades to ancient news, and I have nothing left to lose except the tension in my spine. This muted afternoon is mine. Sub bass thumping through the floorboards light. Everything feels heavy in the softest way. I do not need to prove a thing tonight. Just let the warm kick drum dictate the day. No calls to answer, no place to run. Just low frequencies and slow afternoon sun. Trap snares whispering in 60 BPM. I watch the hours, now I scatter them. No agenda written on the kitchen slate. I lock the door and seal the gate. In my own skin, in my own space. Time forgets its hurry in this place. The coin lays flat, the room goes still. I take my time, I drink my fill. Just sub bass, warm and muted light. Nothing to fix, everything right. Skateboard, urethane thuds over sidewalk cracks. Rolling past the balcony below your feet. You still hold your coat like you might head right back. Watching red tail lights dissolve along the street. Unlace your boots and set the keys down slow. The city isn't asking where you need to go. I know your week was heavy on your chest, counting down the hours just to find some rest. The subwoofers rumble down the avenue. There is nothing left required of you. Leave your phone inside the coat pocket tonight. We can watch the neon fade to soft light. Sub bass humming through the floorboard floor. Lead a whole busy world outside that door. You don't need a single reason to exist. Just slide into the velvet and relax your wrist. The refrigerator hums a steady flat. Ice cubes dropping in a glass of herbal tea. You finally stop checking where your inbox at, leaning back in soft one tapestry. Distant laughter echoes up from corner bars, filtering through blinds beneath the evening stars. I know your week was heavy on your chest, counting down the hours just to find some rest. The subwoofers rumble down the avenue. There is nothing left required of you. Leave your phone inside the coat pocket tonight. We can watch the neon fade to soft light. Sub bass humming through the floorboard floor. Leave the whole busy world outside that door. You don't need a single reason cardamom vapor settle softly over the quiet kitchen counter where she leans. Her laptop screen lies darkened on the table. A silent break from corporate routines. The heavy curtains block the alley traffic. Her socks drag slow across the wooden floor. No inbox notifications break the stillness. No urgent knocks upon the iron door. She pours the water slowly down the glass and lets the rush of yesterday just pass. The bassline hums from somewhere down the block, unbothered by the ticking of the clock. She moves in slow motion through Saturday night. No deadlines to meet and no fires to fight. The sub bass is rolling, the city can't wait. She steps off the grid at a heavenly rate, unwinding the tension that pulled at her mind, leaving every sharp edge of the week far behind. A silk robe hangs loosely around the frame. No one around to speak her formal name. She turns the synth pad low upon the speaker. The afternoon gets soft, the shadows deeper. Her phone stays quiet inside her canvas bag. The urban marathon has lost its tag. She pours the water slowly down the glass and lets the rush of yesterday just pass. The bassline hums from somewhere down the block, unbothered by the ticking of the clock. She moves in slow motion through Saturday night. No deadlines to meet and no fires to fight. The sub bass is rolling, the city can't wait. She steps off the grid at a heavenly rate, unwinding the tension that pulled at her mind, leaving every sharp edge of the week far behind. The weekend belongs to the space in between, where nobody measures what remains unseen. Her tea turns to warm as the sunset recedes. She gives herself only the simple things she needs. One cardamom vapor in the evening air. She sits on the rug without a single care. Deep house in the hallway, low and sweet. The weekend is resting beneath her feet. A stray thought cuts through, muted sound, dropping like a needle on a silent record. Outside, pale neon light spills across parquet. The sub-bass rumble soft underneath the floor. You shift your shoulders against the velvet sofa, letting 3 p.m. drift past without a deadline. No calls to answer, no bills to sign, just slow synth chords blending through the dark. We trace the ripples in our chill green tea, leaving yesterday behind a heavy curtain. This is our sanctuary, 4 beats to the bar, where time expands and the bass hits slow. No heavy burdens, carrying in our palms. We just float in the indigo haze, nothing to prove, while the speaker hums low. Raindrops beat upon the balcony glass. A synthesizer warm note holding in place. You drop another ice cube in your glass. Watching the swirl dissolve without a rush. The city hums 8 stories below us. A quiet ocean wrapped in distant sirens. No calls to answer, no bills to sign, just those in chords bending through the dark. We trace the ripples in our chill green tea, leaving yesterday behind a heavy curtain. This is our sanctuary, 4 beats to the bar, where time expands and the bass hits slow. No heavy burdens, carry it in our palms. We just float in the indigo haze, nothing to prove, while the speaker hums low. An 808 thumps in halftime cadence. We lose track of hours in this padded space. Unspooling every deadline in the thin white thread, watching shadows stretch across the hallway wall. Pure rest hanging in the atmosphere. here in the quiet glow. What happens to the noise that leaves the room? The sub-bass songs at 30 Hertz through the floorboards. My toes are cold under the oversized throw. I count 6 green tiles on the kitchen wall, then lose my place again. The neighbor's dog barks twice, then gives up. There is a half-empty glass of seltzer fizzing down to plain water on the glass table. Thoughts drift like low-pass filters closing in. The clock is not ticking, it is just glowing green. Nobody is expecting me to answer a call. Nobody wants a quick update before 3. Let the track loop 3 times over while the ice melts down. I am wandering through the hallway in a loose cotton sweater. No calendar alarms, no places I should be right now. Just a quiet reverberation of an unbothered hour. Everything can wait until tomorrow morning comes around. Why did I buy 3 bags of matcha powder last November? The shadows stretch across the rug like spilled ink. A message sits on a dark screen, unread, unhurried. My thumb traces the soft seam of my sweatpants. If I do not leave this sofa, the world keeps spinning anyway. The deep kick drum settles into the quiet space behind my eyes. The track loop 3 times over while the ice melts down. I am wandering through the hallway in a loose cotton sweater. No calendar alarms, no places I should be right now. Just a quiet reverberation of an unbothered hour. Everything can wait until tomorrow morning comes around. Did I order the monster yesterday? Or was that Thursday? It does not matter, the leaves are white and leaning toward the window. Past, present, future, tangled in a slow tempo haze. Breathing in the warm static of a late afternoon. Nothing to resolve, nothing to explain. That unanswered question drifting in the air. Let it float as long as it wants to. 30 Hertz fading out into the carpet, unbothered. Still. Yeah, before I'll close of this armchair, hold my weight without a single sound or a rush to negotiate. I am riding back to the teenager in the cold hall who thought every small delay was a wall. You spent your Saturday studying through the dark, fearing that you would never leave a mark. Now the cushion sinks under 28 years, and all of your frantic worries disappear. Low frequency waves roll across the wooden floor. Nobody is knocking at the front door. You can drop the heavy armor on the rug. Grab yourself inside this velvet hug. Dear 19, you do not have to run today. The weekend opened up and swept the dust away. We made it to the calm where the soft light shine, taking back the hours that were always dying. Just settle in deep, let your shoulders drop down. We finally built a home in this quiet town. Yeah. Remember counting quarters for a train ticket home, checking your inbox, feeling terrified and alone. Now I'm sipping tea in a warm filtered glare. No urgent demands floating through the ambient air. You paid for this comfort with the sleep that you lost. I'm keeping the receipt so you know the true cost was peace at the end of the long dark road, where the chair takes the burden of the heavy load. If sound could travel backwards through time, I would send this bassline into your mind to let you know the future is safe and still. The sun stays low over the windowsill. You do not need to prove what you are worth. You are grounded safely on this green earth. Rest now, younger mind. The tempo is slow. We have nowhere left to go. Just Saturday won't move, just peace. glass, casting golden honey on the patio floor. You set your ice cup down and asked me if the wooden stool is free. I sliding, sliding my coat aside to clear a little space. No deadlines, pulling out our sleeves today. Just bass rattling softly through the open door. You say you had a long 5 days behind the screen. I laugh and tell you I forgot what day it is. We watch the traffic crawl like liquid neon lights. Two strangers finding rhythm in the afternoon drift. We don't need names to share this quiet atmosphere. Just 45 RPMs rolling through the speaker wire. Saturday holds the clock still while the bass drops low. A slow conversation with someone I might never see again. No pressure in the air tonight. Just warm yellow glow and an open schedule. Yeah. You point to my sneakers and ask where I bought the leather. I tell you about a small shop 4 blocks down the avenue. You hand me a matchbook from a bar in Tokyo, striking the flame that flares against the fading sky. Neither of us checks a phone or looks around the room, content to linger in the middle of a painless pause. You say you had a long 5 days behind the screen. I laugh and tell you I forgot what day it is. We watch the traffic crawl like liquid neon lights. Two strangers finding rhythm in the afternoon drift. We don't need names to share this quiet atmosphere. Just 45 RPMs rolling through the speaker wire. Saturday holds the clock still while the bass drops low. A slow conversation with someone I might never see again. No pressure in the air tonight. Just warm yellow glow and an open schedule. Yeah, yeah, the trap beat hums beneath the patio deck. The bass vibrating through the soles of our shoes. You finish your drink and stand up slow, tipping your hat with a gentle nod goodbye. No phone numbers traded, no promises made. Just 2 hours saved from the rush of the week. Amber glass fades into dusk. The stool beside me goes cold again. A quiet afternoon, well spent, floating in the warmth of a stranger's smile. Last night, you said the rain would clear by noon today. I watch a line of ends drag across the balcony tile. Yeah, your left sneaker sits crooked in the doorway mat. A half-filled glass of tap water catches the midday sun. The radiator gives 3 small metallic clicks. A neighbor 2 floors down plays an old saxophone scale. No meetings waiting in my inbox grid. No reasons to put on a real pair of shoes. The bassline loops off through the Bluetooth box. I count every tiny thing moving through the room. Shadows stretch wide across the wooden floorboards. Steam drifts up slowly from a ceramic mug. A pigeon settles on the window ledge. Outside we got nowhere to run, nowhere we need to be. Just counting small details in the quiet afternoon. D808 hum, keeping time with our breath. Yeah, a yellow sticky note curls at the edge of the fridge. Your black socks rest tangled on the woven rug. The shadow of a ceiling fan blade sweeps the wall. A silver spoon rests inside a jar of wild honey outside. A bicycle bell rings twice and fades away. The apartment smells like fresh linen and oat milk. No notifications lighting up the black screen. Don't hurry to reply to messages from Friday night. The house synth chords float low through the hallway air. I catalog the quiet moments line by. Shadows stretch wide across the wooden floorboards. Steam drifts up slowly from a ceramic mug. A pigeon settles on a window ledge. Outside we got nowhere to run, nowhere we need to be. Just counting small details in the quiet afternoon. deep 808 hum, keeping time with our breath. Yeah, you said yesterday we never take a real break. Now your eyes are shut, drifting on a corner cushion. The light breeze shifts the edge of an open magazine. A condensation droplet slides down a soda can. Nothing requires a fix, nothing requires a response. A one-loose thread on the green throw pillow. Dust notes floating in the pale sunbeam. 4 o'clock's soft light touching your shoulder. Everything's settling right where it should. Just stand right here. Yeah. Waffle knit cotton catches on my thumb. The grit of gray threads holding down the bass drum. Sub bass humming quiet through the floorboard wood. I touched the hem and suddenly I'm standing where we stood. 3 October's back and there ain't nobody shore. Nothing on the schedule, shoes beside the door. Steam from dark roast coffee rising in an arc. We were just breathing till the streetlights lit the park. Now the weekend stretches out wide and clear. No calls to answer, no shadows hanging here. Just a simple memory folded in the weave, giving me a quiet place to breathe. Sinking in the cushion while the 88s roll slow. Replay of an afternoon we gave away years ago. Deep house warmth running smooth through my chest. Saturday is gentle when the mind gets to rest. Every stitch remembers how you laugh without a sound. Now I'm floating easy with my feet off the ground. Yeah. Linen pillowcase cool against my cheek, erasing all the friction from a long heavy week. I remember how your oversized hoodie used to hang back when we didn't care about a single song they sang. Now the trap soul snare snaps clean and low, watching afternoon light make the floorboards glow. No hurry in the rhythm, no pressure in the air, just the ghost of your sweater on the corner of the chair. Sinking in the cushion while the 88s roll slow. Replay of an afternoon we gave away years ago. Deep house warmth running smooth through my chest. Saturday is gentle when the mind gets to rest. Every stitch remembers how you laugh without a sound. Now I'm floating easy with my feet off the ground. Time moves sideways when the scent past decay. I don't need tomorrow, I just need today. Flashback settled in the thread count so fine. Your memory is pleasant, no longer crossing lines. We left the hurry in the past where it belongs, wrapped in soft jersey while the speakers hum our songs. Grit of gray cotton, soft feet in my hand. Quiet weekend morning spread across the land. Deep house fading into ambient space, still feeling peaceful in this golden place. Although 315 glows in soft cyan, digits across the best side wall. And in 3 years we will not care about the early call. I picture us with coffee brewing slowly in the glass. No deadline notifications as the city buses pass. The bassline thumb softly through the floorboard down below. A 4-beat rhythm pulsing in a warm suburban glow. We are building up to moments where the pressure melts away. Trading late night emails for a lazy Saturday. I can see the sunlight heating linen sheets so white. Not a single reason to look back upon the night. Someday the weekend belongs to us alone. No ringing ringtones, a muted plastic phone. Deep house, drifting while the tea turns cool, breaking every single hustle culture rule. We will sit right here in the future light, everything breathing easy, everything alright. 14 reads the kitchen timer set for nothing much. Just sourdough rising underneath the gentle touch. Traps will reverberate softly through the hall. No missed calls waiting on the plaster wall. I imagine your shoulders finally dropping down 5 miles away from the center of the town. We are building up to moments where the pressure melts away. Trading late night emails for a lazy Saturday. I can see the sunlight hitting linen sheets so white. Not a single reason to look back upon the night. Someday the weekend belongs to us alone. No ringing ringtones, a muted plastic phone. Deep house, drifting while the tea turns cool, breaking every single hustle culture rule. We will sit right here in the future light, everything breathing easy, everything alright. Right now the clock is ticking through the midnight shift, but I am holding on to what this vision brings. A balcony with plants, a slow Sunday drift, no heavy baggage and no golden rings. Just time moving slow, just beat in space. A quiet sanctuary in a distant place.